Welcome to episode 68 for Gaming Dad 101, a show where gamers became dads and are now looking for cheat codes. If you're new to Gaming Dad 101, this show goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services all over the world. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe and rate us so that we can get to more listeners and more people can check out the show, because that's how we keep the show going. You can also check us out over on Facebook by going to facebook.com/groups/Gaming Dad 101. And then, of course, joining me on this week's episode, we have my co-host, Ricky.
What's going on, everybody?
So, before we get into the news, into the show, sadly, we posted something on Facebook asking if anybody's been playing Apex Legends to see how everybody felt about it, to kind of gauge, what our community feels about this game and see if anybody was interested and kind of honestly get a review to see whether we were going to check it out. Sadly, nobody was playing it, which is very surprising. So Ricky and I actually took the time and we decided to check it out for ourselves because, God forbid we do something. So we went ahead and we checked it out. And, well, Ricky, you have more experience with the Fortnite and with Apex. Apex is essentially the next Fortnite that has just come out. It's from the creators of Titanfall. In the Titanfall universe, but not part of Titanfall. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. But how do you feel about it? How do you think it plays?
Right now, to me, it plays pretty smoothly. It is a new game. There's a lot of things that they still need to patch and need to work on. For example, one of the things that I experienced a lot was I kept getting kicked out of the server, and I was actually having a hard time to get back in the server. It would actually take me about a good 20 minutes until I finally got back on the server. Sometimes I actually had to restart my console completely so I can just log back into the server. But besides that, that's really the only main issue that I had was just that. Besides that, the gameplay itself was pretty smooth. The characters are pretty balanced. They have a good amount of customizations, and the good thing about it is you can actually customize either by going through and playing the game. The more you play, the more you get the internal currency, and you can get the customs that are the outfits and skins and whatnot for the actual game players, weapons, banners. So you can actually unlock all of that stuff while you're playing the game, or you can buy the currency to just go ahead and unlock it from the very beginning. There's 2 characters that are currently locked behind a payment system. I'm not sure if I'm able to unlock them further into the game.
You can unlock them using in-game currency. It just, of course, is going to take longer than if you go ahead and do the microtransaction. So,
correct.
And since we're talking about payment too, and it stems from the conversation of EA, really. This is one of EA's games. This is one of EA titles, one of the EA titles that have come out. And, of course, everybody's kind of been sick and tired of the way EA has done microtransactions. However, this is actually surprisingly different. I think that it's surprisingly refreshing how different it is in the sense that they're not being shoved down your throat. They're there if you want it. They're all cosmetic. Because even the weapons, you don't unlock any particular weapon. You unlock the skins for these weapons. And they have legendary skins and things of that nature. But again, everything 100% cosmetic. In terms of dollars to digital dollars, I think it's a little steep. But of course, that's me speaking from how I like to spend money on video games. But I think it kind of goes hand in hand with what you would normally spend on Fortnite, except, of course, now they have the season pass. Is that accurate or no?
Fortnite has a battle pass that...
Well, ignoring the battle pass, like before the battle pass, incomparable to Fortnite, because let's face it, I'm pretty sure that Apex is going to come out with some sort of battle pass. They have already talked about seasons and how they're going to... And I believe they were saying they were going to have 4 seasons a year, so 1 each quarter. So I'm sure they'll have that. But before Fortnite introduced it, is it comparable?
To the most part, yes. It's pretty comparable. Fortnite, of course, just has the more popularities of introducing more characters. But again, this is a brand new game. You know, who's to say that they're going to also continue adding more characters throughout the game's life. But pretty much, I've actually enjoyed more of Apex more than I actually did with Fortnite. Reason
Really?
being, yeah, reason being is because it's it's not, to me, it's not as spongy as Fortnite, even though Fortnite is not really spongy either. But
What do you mean spongy? Like bullet sponge?
yeah, bullet
Okay.
sponge. Yeah, even though Fortnite is really not bullet spongy, Apex isn't either. But you do have some hits and critical hits that you can cause on a player, which
True.
makes the player go down faster. That's pretty much all aligned with each other. Weapon wise, I mean, they're pretty balanced between everything. Every character is pretty balanced. Customizations and the look of the players, they're not the greatest. But again, this is a new game. It's not to say that they will improve later on.
Or that they
Um,
won't add anything later on, because again,
exactly.
they sound committed to adding more stuff as they go.
Yeah. And of course, one thing that I did notice because I was playing with another friend of mine was once he started
How
getting,
dare you, Ricky?
I know, right? Once he started getting to like the level 20s and above, you get a what is called an Apex token. And it's basically how you like your little loot box that you get, whenever
Mm.
you're completing the stories. The more you start leveling up, they give you like a little treasure chest. Well, once he started reaching up to like the 20s, 26, around those numbers, he started noticing that he really wasn't getting those drop boxes that you normally get throughout
Hmm.
the game. So they started slowing down the higher he started going up. It doesn't mean that they completely stop. It's probably something that they still have to probably patch on to make it more balanced once you start hitting the higher levels.
True,
Um,
true.
another
And is it
another
is it just because of how much XP you need to keep progressing, or is it because
they,
if I
they,
remember correctly, you get it every time you level up is when you get a box.
Again, I do not know. I'm not that high of a level, so I personally did not experience it. It
Hmm.
was just something more of while we were playing, he just kind of started noticing that he hadn't received any of those drop box in a while.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it could be that the balancing for XP is a little bit off or something, or it could just be that after a certain period it stops on, and you have to continue progressing. Again, I don't have those details. It was just something that was noticed while we were playing.
Fair.
And then another thing that I was able to do that I had the luxury of, I basically, again, like I've mentioned before, I have the PC, I have the PlayStation, and I have the Xbox. One of the comments that I
Mm.
heard was that actually the Xbox One X has the better performance playing Apex. It wasn't the regular Xbox. They on the article that I had read, it said now you actually have to have the Xbox One X to feel more of the experience. And I went ahead and downloaded it, played it, and to me, it does feel a little bit faster. You're getting through the screens to the loadings and all of that a little quicker than you do on PlayStation. But mind you, I do have the original PlayStation. I don't have the PlayStation Pro. Um,
Mm.
and then on the PC, when I was trying it, it is more graphically demanding than Fortnite. Because on Fortnite, I can actually run on Epic on my computer. Grant you, I have a lower end graphics card.
Yeah.
So, but I am at least able to run Epic on Fortnite with Apex. I actually had to run on low settings to be able to actually be able to play the game smoothly. So,
Interesting.
so it is more graphically demanding than Fortnite. So I did notice that. So yeah, that's so far my experience with them. I gave you
All
somewhat
right.
of a mini review on this
So
game.
then I know, yeah, basically. So overall, recommend it or don't recommend it?
I truly recommend it.
Sweet. All right. I recommend it too. I'm not as good as pretty much anybody out there, but yeah, I still recommend it. It's still a lot of fun. So, with that said, I also gave a shot to the Division. I tried to get into the Division 2 beta. I'll be honest with you, I did not have very much patience for this game, mainly because of how long some of the load screens were. And at one point, my game glitched. So I was very frustrated. There was a lot of for a while I felt lost. And of course, the whole bullet spongy aspect of the Division it basically made me not want to play it anymore. So I'm kind of in a weird spot with the Division. It looks beautiful. It plays, from what I remember, pretty much like any other Division, but there were some bugs within this beta that I think obviously need to be fixed. I'm sure that they will be. At this point, I'm just wondering whether I want more Division, because I've been very excited about Division 2, but for some reason, after playing the beta, the little bit that I played, I'm kind of turned off by it. And it may just be the fact that, to an extent, I was playing by myself because, of course, I tried playing with my wife, but you know how they start you off separate, and then the whole trying to figure out the menus and everything or whatever. And in the process of getting through it, it kind of made me feel like it's not a very single player friendly game. And I remember the times where I've played this game by myself, and it can be fun, but it's really tedious, and to be honest with you, it becomes kind of a strain sometimes. If you want to play for a long period of time, it just became stressful to some point. So I'm kind of debating now back and forth on whether I actually want to check out the Division 2. Again, this is a very personal opinion, and I know that it's a very, very unpopular opinion. However, I can say that it is a beautiful game. Aside from the issues that I had with the beta, I'm sure it's going to be run awesome. And again, it plays just as smooth as the first one. So in terms of if you like the Division, this is definitely something that you're going to enjoy. But if you had a couple of problems with the first one, this is something that you may want to consider. I know that, unfortunately, Ricky, you didn't get a chance to get into the beta, did you?
No, I never. I don't know. Was the beta something that you have to have with the pre-order, or was it
Yeah,
something?
you had to
Yeah.
pre-order it, and it was one of those where even when you pre-ordered it, it took like 24, 48 hours to get the code, and then it took like another 12 hours to get the other code. And I know because that's what I did, because it turns out I forgot to pre-order it. So I had to pre-order it to kind of get the codes and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I personally did not pre-order the Division 2. I'm actually up on the fence about even getting the game. I do own the first one. I did play through the first one. I beat the story mode on
Hmm.
it. When I got the game at the very beginning, I had purchased all of the DLC, so I had purchased a season pass with it. And once I was done with the story, for some reason, there was nothing that was really calling me back for it.
Mm,
And even though I have the DLCs for it, to this day, I have not gone back and played a single moment of
really?
any of the DLCs. Even though I'm being told that they improved the game tremendously, I don't know. There's just something about it that is still not calling me back to it. So I don't know if I'll personally be getting the Division 2. But one game I did get was
That's what I was about to say. What did you cave in on, Ricky? Admit it. What did you cave?
I finally
Go
caved
on.
into Kingdom Hearts 2.9. I mean, 3, sir.
Nerd. I'm just playing with you. But it was a joke, guys. I promise you.
But yeah.
Just in case.
Now, one thing the store person told me is like, so do you want it for Xbox or PlayStation? I'm like, if I get it for Xbox, it's just gonna feel weird. So I need this for PlayStation. I can't play Kingdom Hearts on Xbox. I don't know why. It feels weird. So I just went ahead and got it on the PlayStation. So far I haven't played much on it. I think I've probably played about an hour of it total. And out of the hour, I think it was probably about a good 20 to 25 minutes just between the intro and the little training that they do for every Kingdom Hearts game. So if you ever played any Kingdom Hearts game, you're technically going through the little movie that it gives you at the very beginning. The good thing about this one, it actually breaks down at the very beginning a bunch of the clips from the prior games too, to kind of
Mm.
fill you in visually, because
So
there's
in case you
no.
don't remember, or in case you missed one of the games, it
Yeah,
kind of helps you along. Okay.
exactly. So it does give you, a somewhat of a visual storyline, because they're not talking, you're just hearing music and you're just seeing all of these events that are happening. But it kind of gives you a general idea of where Sora stands whenever you actually start the game. And then of
Huh?
course the training area looks identical to the prior two. And then the first level you start off with is you basically getting a little. lecture about, well, Sora, this is what you did, and because of it, you lost this,
Oh,
and
fun.
that, and now you just gotta gain the trust and gain your strength back, and then that's when you're off on your missions.
On your adventure.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you caving into buying Kingdom Hearts was not really surprising, but then again, you are the owner of the segment, Reasons Why We're Broke. So, Ricky, on this week, why are we going to be broke?
Well, this week we're really, really, really gonna be broke. Starting off the week, we started off with Trail Racing. That came out for
Trials.
the Trials Racing. Yeah, accent Spanish, whatever.
Your
Uh,
Puerto Rican came out. It's okay.
we have it for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. It came out on the 12th. We have Citizen 6, Gathering Storm, that came out for the PC on the 14th, which is the day the episode is going live. We then now this is when it gets to the really good, gritty and needy. Is we get the Crackdown 3 coming out for the Xbox One PC on the 15th. We have Far Cry New Dawn coming out for the
Jeez.
PS4, PC, Xbox One on February the 15th. We have Jump Force coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and February the 15th. And we have Metro Exodus coming out for the PS4,
Jeez, that's
Xbox
a
One.
loaded week.
Dude,
And then to top it off, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy
Good luck
Valentine's.
affording any of these.
Hopefully, one of your Valentine's gift is going to be one of all this. If at best, hopefully all of them.
Here, watch. Call your wife into the room. Hi, Mrs. Ma'am. So, your husband is a very, very kind listener of this show, and he would very much like one of these games that we have mentioned about 30 seconds ago by my pal here, Ricky. So, if you're looking for that special Valentine's Day gift, feel free to listen to that list. Thank you very much. See, I got it. I got him. I'm just here trying to help the people. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. But yeah, no, it's a very exciting week. I know that for Crackdown 3, I already have it pre-downloaded because luckily it's part of Games Pass for the Xbox. So I will be able to get my hands on that baby and play it.
Wait, you just made me realize I can get it too then. Because it is for PC as well.
It is
and it is part of the Games Pass. And I
Yep.
am a member. Yes.
So there you go. So anyone out there that
See,
has
that was
Games
a game
Pass,
I didn't even know I was going to get.
So yeah, so if you're a member, you can go ahead and grab it. Have fun with it. I mean, you get to destroy cities, towns, buildings, bridges, all you want. Then I'm also excited. I kind of just pre-ordered Jump Force as well. Don't say anything.
Your secret is safe between you and me, Ricky. Nobody else. Shh. So now that we know why everybody's going to be super broke and why Ricky's going to be in trouble, let's go ahead and get into this week's news. We're going to go first to an article over on IGN where essentially we were talking about Apex Legends, and last week we discussed about how when they came out, they mentioned that they were not coming out with a core Titanfall. They kind of mentioned something about the possibility of later in the year. We have a little bit more confirmation. Apparently, the CEO, Vince Zampella, teased that there is more than just Apex Legends in Respawn's future, saying, quote, "We're also working on more Titanfall for later in the year." He then continued saying, "We love being able to experiment in this crazy universe." There was also another update that they reported on a call for the third quarter final for results for EA. The company stated that it had plans to introduce a quote-unquote premium Titanfall experience, which of course is probably going to be the full, $60 gig. And then of course, it's one of those scenarios where my only concern is last week we were talking about how they were saying that there was not going to be a core Titanfall. This week you're saying that there is. I hope that I'm not the one who misread the message in terms of whether it was going to be coming later on in the year. I'm just slightly concerned in terms of the quality now, simply because, how many teams do you have? How long have you been working on it? I just hope they're not just sticking something together in response to people not being happy that Apex wasn't in Titanfall.
No, yeah, I do agree. It is a little concerning because if you did just pick up this game and you're now trying to develop it just to appease people, you're gonna have a very, very high chance that you're just gonna hodgepodge a bunch of crap together and deliver a piss poor, game. And
experience and then be upset in regards to how people receive it or not be happy about the return on investment.
exactly, and especially, and this is honestly, this is something that EA cannot afford. They have to
No.
take their time and they have to provide quality content moving forward because yes, sad to say, it to this day to when that one game came out, everybody knows exactly what that game is, so I don't need to mention it. You still are tainted by it. So, you just gotta put out your best. You can't hosh posh anything and hope for the best. No, you actually gotta do your best.
So, I mean, to their credit, though, Apex was a surprise hit. They came out of nowhere. They didn't tell anybody anything. So, would it surprise me that they also have this Titanfall that they've been working on for a while? Not really. I can totally see it within the realm of possibility. The only concern that I have realistically is because of EA's involvement, and that's kind of where I'm concerned. But hopefully, the game comes out and it's amazing. I was a very big fan of Titanfall 2. I feel that Titanfall, for some reason, keeps getting the short end of the stick and unfortunately keeps coming out at bad times where people can't fully focus on it, and that kind of sucks. But if you're a fan of it or you checked it out, hopefully this one will basically meet what we're looking for. Realistically, I just want more fun in a mech. I just want to be jumping in and out of mechs and shooting people. So that sounds. I mean, it's a lot of fun, dude. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it. So let's go ahead and move on. Unfortunately, this is a little bit more somber news, but we got a little bit of information in regards to Activision and Blizzard. They informed. It was reported that unfortunately they were announcing layoffs yesterday, as of this episode airing, technically today as we're recording. Blizzard, of course, was. Apparently they haven't been happy with the number of sales that they've been having. There's been some issues where the company has remained stagnant and hasn't really seen much growth, possible some decrease in certain games, and because of it, they're laying off certain people. The only good-ish news that we can hear about or that we think of is that apparently the layoffs involve primarily people that are in non-game development departments, like publishing and the esports department, and then apparently just before the split with Destiny, one of the things that was concerning was that for Destiny, they had just hired a new PR, marketing, social media, businesses, and so on team to work on promotion for Destiny. As we talked about 2 weeks ago, Destiny and Bungie have basically separated themselves from this. Now that we are looking at things back, chances are that it had a lot to do with this. So they kind of already took their leave. Unfortunately, these are all people that they hired that are probably now going to be losing their jobs. And of course, that's sad aspect of things. But I'm just kind of concerned and curious as to how you get into this. I mean, these are some of the biggest publishers out there. I mean, when you're talking about Blizzard, they have hit after hit. I mean, they own WoW. Like they print money at this point. So where are the issues? And I'm not sure. Like I was looking for the financials. Unfortunately, the financials were being posted today as well, so I was not able to get my hands on them before the recording. But I would like to see what they consider such a failure, because from the sound of it and from everything that I've read and seen on it, essentially it's almost like they were expecting to hit this benchmark and just came right underneath it. In comparison to their goal, they undercut it, but in comparison to anybody else's goal, they're far surpassing it, and that's the part that gets confusing.
Yeah, I'm actually bringing it up right now, and there is an update that came out about 2 hours ago. So they ended up laying off around 8% of their workforce, which equals out to about 775 employee.
Jeez.
So yeah, so it is a pretty hefty amount of people that just got laid off. So I am sorry for for what you're going through. I do wish you guys the best and you're able to find something better in the future. But it is concerning. Unfortunately, the article that I just brought up doesn't talk about any financials as of yet, so we still don't have access to that information on exactly what it is that is going on. But we know that apparently there's still some other things that they're deprioritizing due to initiatives, um, because they're just not meeting expectations. Is really what the main article is really focusing on right now.
I see. Oh, that's a shame. So, definitely, our heart goes out to everybody who's been affected by this. Hopefully, as in the past, the video game community will come together and help people out. Of course, people, we've seen it time and time again. Developers close or situations happen when there are layoffs, and you see other developers extending their arms saying, hey, we're hiring over here. So, hopefully, this is one of those cases and people can get back on their feet, sooner rather than later. So, the next article we're going to talk about is over on Game Informer. Warner Brothers Japan and Level 5 are producing a film based on the Ni No Kuni universe, and it's due out in this summer in Japan. The film sports some strong Studio Ghibli talent. The Ni No Kuni Revenant Kingdom character designer and frequent Studio Ghibli animator and storyboarding Yoshiyuki Momose. I do highly apologize. That is the biggest butchering I've ever done of a name. Will be directing the film, and longtime Ghibli film composer Joe Isashi is composing the music. And then here's the part that I find interesting and what basically caught my attention the most. The movie's, of course, going to follow you, but it's going to be played by the Japanese actor Kento Yamazaki, who is also the voice. He's one of the actors in Death Note. So that's what caught my eye. I'm really interested in this. Studio Ghibli, of course, high quality studio, always puts out quality entertainment. Are you excited, Ricky? Because actually, you're the one who put this on the news post.
No,
So,
yeah, I'm actually.
are you a fan of Ni No Kuni, and is that why you liked it? Or are you a fan of Studio Ghibli, and that's why you wanted it?
I am a fan of Ni No Kuni. I actually own
Sweet.
the second one. I've never played the first one, but I did really enjoy the second one, Renovant Kingdom. So I'm actually pretty excited to see how this is actually gonna come out. So.
Sweet. So can't wait to check that out. And then over in comicbook.com, so apparently it's been leaked by GameStop in Germany that apparently Spyro Reignited Trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch, but not just that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, it's coming on August 16th. Any credence? What do you think?
I mean, I honestly don't know why it hasn't even come out any sooner. To be
I'm
honest.
sure. I'm sure. Well, it kind of sucks. I mean, you're right. If it's August, it kind of sucks that it's that long. But I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I mean, we live in the world of leaks. Everything gets leaked nowadays. So August 16th, sure. We'll see.
I hope.
Well, as of this recording, as of the day this recording is live, there is a Nintendo Direct taking place today. So
Yep.
we may find out that there is more to it. We may have this date confirmed. As of today, either later today or earlier today, it was confirmed, depending on when you listen to this episode. Remember, we record this on Tuesday. So as of this moment, we don't know. It'll be interesting to see. If it does come out, I'm going to be mad a little bit because I would have preferred to get it on the Switch just so that I can have it with me everywhere. But c'est la vie. Then another one that we found, of course, Ricky, with my love of both Skyrim and my love of God of War, he found that apparently there's a new patch for Skyrim on the PC by the creator Potato Factory, made a mod where you can actually play as Kratos and you can actually have the Leviathan axe and all of that. So if you're into that, if you're into modding over in the PC world and you're into Skyrim, go ahead and check that out. And then the last one that I kind of wanted to touch base on is we have noticed that PlayStation is finally starting to let people crossplay across every platform so that you can actually play. I believe it started with Rocket League, and they are also doing it with another game that currently escapes me. But Fortnite, how could that escape me? Seriously, that's Jesus Christ. I'm clearly tired. So they've been doing it with these games, but apparently other developers have been calling them out, and PlayStation is, of course, kind of taking a call to action and kind of saying, okay, yes, we know we've done bad. We realize that there's been issues. We're kind of making the progress a little bit easier as we can. And in one of those, it's the quote that they stated that kind of doesn't come out quite the best way, but here it is. This is a quote over by Sean is it, let me see, make sure I'm quoting the right person here. Sean Layden, yes. Quote, I think we learned from the feedback from our fans that it was important, and it wasn't just important to a vocal minority. Even though the fans who weren't personally going to participate in crossplay activity across different hardware price pieces just felt that it was kind of tone deaf of PlayStation. We tried to be so good, certainly over the last 4 or 5 years, to be in tune with our fans and listen to what they want and try to be a friend of the gamer. We looked at that approach. This is just not friendly. So they're opening the borders. They're admitting that they've been tone deaf to this whole thing. We've been talking a bit about how Xbox has been planting seeds for the next gen. Do you think PlayStation is now feeling afraid? Because these are the words that kind of make me feel that PlayStation is starting to realize, man, we have not been doing this the way we should have. We have not been taking care of this the way we started to. And now we actually feel that we may be in danger of losing the gains that we've made. What do you think?
If it's not a thought, I hope it is a thought now. Just because, I mean, they understand the gaming world. They understand the gaming concept. They know better, and that's the part that sucks is that they know better, but because they have that chip on their shoulder that they think that they're the best out of, just because you just got this one generation, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to carry that on, generations after generations. You actually got to constantly improve. You actually got to constantly look at your models to see what you can do better and what you should be changing, to better, to give that experience, a better experience to your fan base. So by them, taking the bullet and making the one statement that, PlayStation, the way that we think is, we're the best place to play this kind of games.
Exactly, that's what they had. The quote was, "It plays better on PlayStation."
So,
and it's one of those where you can only boast that for so long. But I mean, hopefully they learned their lesson. Again, I love Sony. I love PlayStation. I will choose PlayStation over every other console first. But at the same time, like, you got to call them out, and this is them finally catching up to what they should have been doing from the get-go. So hopefully this keeps improving. Hopefully they keep listening to the gamers, and then at the same time, hopefully it doesn't cost them players when it comes to the next console cycle. So we'll see how that goes. Now that we've covered the week's news, we're going to go into the next segment of the show. Now, if you are a first-time listener or first-time watcher, we have what we call a parenting cheat code of the week. This week's cheat code was actually provided over on our Facebook group. Once again, you can join us over on Facebook, and we talk about games, we post memes, we talk with people. It's, again, facebook.com/groups/GamingDad101. This is by our listener, loyal friend, James Kindlesberger. He states, roll the dice. Be chill sometimes and let your kid be a kid. She or he may fall down, scrape a knee, get dirty, but as long as he or she comes home in one piece, a learning experience was had, and maybe even a little fun. So it's a good reminder to have, because it's happened to every parent out there. I'm sure you see your kid doing something dumb, something that that you shouldn't do simply because you were dumb once and you did it yourself, and you don't want your kid to go through that same thing. But it's nice to try to stop them, but it's good to let them enjoy it, let them have fun, and most importantly, let them learn. So, yeah, it's a great cheat code, James. Thanks a lot for sharing that, man.
No, yeah, I completely agree. As long as you know your kid is not gonna be in any life and death situation, hell, just let them be. Yes, they're gonna fall off. My daughter's constantly getting on chairs now, where we know that there's a possibility that she can fall and crack her head, but I'm already getting to the point where I'm tired of yelling at her and trying to get her down to the sea for her just to start kicking and crying and yelling and just doing it back again. At this point, Lord. I'm like, hey, it's only a little 2-foot chair. It's not like she's very high off the ground.
Are you bleeding? Are you not? You're not bleeding. You're good.
Exactly.
Right, cool.
So to me, I'm just to the point. I'm like, all right, if you fall, it's on you. Don't come crying at me now. So hopefully you get to learn.
Nice. All right. Now, before we leave, is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to tell people to check out? Anything, Hey, what's up? My name is Ricky. I like long walks on the beach.
As long as you buy me a margarita anytime. Nah, this week, I encourage you to go try Apex. It's a really good game.
Yeah, actually, I would recommend that too. Pretty freaking sweet game. So, all right. Now, thank you once again, everybody, for joining us on episode 68 for this week. Remember that we're live each and every single Wednesday, so we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. You can check us out over at our website at geekendcast.com. You can check us out by searching out some podcast services by searching GeekEnd Cast. You can follow us on Twitter by following at GeekEnd Cast. And you can follow me at following Visk Zen. And you follow Ricky at Picky Gamer Dad. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Right here. If you're watching this video, they're right here at the bottom.
There you go.
There you go. They're right here. Down here. All right. So thank you very much. Oh, and of course, if you're listening to this going, man, they keep talking about video. When is the video going to go live? We have good news on that front, guys. We're most likely going to go live next week. We're going to give you the final word on it next week for sure. But stick around. Videos are coming. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining us on this episode. We will see you next Wednesday.
Luego.